Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Fury here, and we're gonna get started in a little bit. Uh, thank you for watching. Anyone out there watching, I'm not even really keeping that many tabs on there. I haven't done this in a while, this is Spur of the Moment. Unless you didn't know, unless you did know, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on right now. But anyway, I used to do a lot of content on Facebook, a lot of gaming content. I mean, I still game, but there's other things in my life that really have taken the forefront. So, as you can see right now, and I'm just like getting back into the hang of things. So, here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, whoever's watching and everything. So, this is my YouTube name. If you have never known I had a YouTube channel, because this is basically a name I got because I'm a fury. See, it's a breakdown, cause I'm a fury. Somebody called me that because I had a lot of opinions about stuff and I kind of got passionate about it. And then I'm also a big Tekken fan. So Jin Kazama is one of my, and Jun Kazama, the Kazamas are like some of my favorite characters from Tekken. So somebody named Zeke Brown years ago made this logo for me, and never knew what happened to him. But thank you, Zeke, if you ever watch this again. Anyway, so like I have no direct thing I wanted to talk about today in specific order, but usually about to start this whole thing called the South District podcast with my boy Ray. The thing is that I don't know when he's gonna show up, so I'm trying to keep them topics on him, but I can't help it today. You know, from my 3 years of working out in the streets of Jersey City, when I transitioned from environmental into EMS, uh, this might get me in trouble, but I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to implement any organizations. All I need to say is when you work out there, you start to see that a lot of people who aren't natives, you work with a lot of people who come from a different town and they just don't care about it. Or if they do, they just don't care. They just, something in them just died. I don't want to end up like that in EMS, but to go on to that, I hear a lot of people got a lot of smoke for the South District because you turn around and you look at it, a lot of people are aware of the condition of it, especially the area I live in right now. I could step out my house right now and there's somebody two porches down waiting to get served. Cookies, fentanyl, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So, my thing is, it all trickles down. This whole process, this whole thing trickles down to this. Um, we have a group of people who are in politics right now, and they only show up in the South District when something is new, shiny, and bright, and they cut in the bow on it, and then they just leave it to its own devices while they focus on making sure that all the big wigs down in the downtown in the East District or up in the North are well taken care of, and they even starting that with West because the West is slowly becoming gentrified. Okay, I was talking to somebody the other day who actually she was like, "This is." I could just hear her talking, and I'm walking past her with the dogs, and I just couldn't help but stop and like. She was saying stuff like, "This is horrible. This place, look at talking about Audubon Park." About how terrible, how it's looked, this and that. And I was like, look, it trickles down. I was like, you got people in higher up positions who don't care about the South District. Like I said, they only show up to cut the ribbon on a new building that is made to keep us isolated inside. Why you think they moved Social Security from Journal Square to West Side Avenue? Down there, near Miss America Diner, near NJCU. Why you think they moved that down there? Why you think they have a building that the fire and the police are going to be working out of that's on Martin Luther King Drive in Kearney? Why you think that's there? And other buildings there too. It's all by design. It's all by design. And yes, the people here, a lot of people here could do better. That goes without saying. We're not saying this is just something that's just strictly blamed on the higher ups. That's not what I'm saying here. This is a problem that a lot of people don't seem to get. That it's enough. It's just enough to spread enough blame to spread on a piece of toast evenly. But to just only throw it off to being one source, that's the problem. And of course, it's always going to be this. You know, it's always going to be this. Let's be honest here. We didn't have patrols on the corner sitting there doing nothing before them folks came, right? We didn't have that. And when I say them folks, that's me being sensitive. I don't want to say something and make it sound like I got a problem with them. No, but I'm calling out just being let be. But I'm calling out the fact that there was no eyes. And I can't even call them eyes because meanwhile, one day I'm at work and me and my partner that day picked up a patient. We taking her to the hospital. Meanwhile, I'm riding by the fire station on Ocean Avenue, between Dwight and Stegman, and guess what happened? These boys are beating the brakes off of another teenage boy. And I had to turn on my siren because I'm riding no lights, no sirens because the patient's a low priority. The patient isn't that ill. So I had to turn on my sirens real quick. And they got up and they ran off. And then I told them, stay there. I'm going to call another ambulance. So I called another ambulance to the scene while I continue with my patient. Because my patient, me, my partner, and my patient are the priority. But I make sure that another one came. So I drive down a couple of blocks. That same thing I was talking about with the police, they sitting out there. You telling me like you have absolutely no desire to go help that person when I told them what's going on. And they sitting there asking me all these details and all this other stuff. And I'm like, bro, they took off. The kids took off down Stegman. That beat up the other one. I don't know what they had on and stuff. I just know they were the same age range, okay? That kid over there got assaulted. And I don't even think they did anything. Because my coworkers told me, like, they just RMA. The police wasn't even there. But we need to do better also. Here I am, looking out for somebody who's young enough to be my son while I'm on duty. And where they're at. Nobody, they don't care. A lot of them, and no disrespect to them, because I have friends who there, but collectively they don't care till somebody got a hot one inside them, or somebody is close to being sent to the upper room, or when somebody gets sent to the upper room. No one cares, really. And here I am, a native, and sometimes I get up in the morning, I'm like, yo, I'm over this. Meaning, like, I come out there and I see the same old BS all the time. But when I put that uniform on, it's my job. But when I'm off, I'm over this. Seriously. But the thing is, I understand there's a certain lack of compassion that some people have. I don't have a lack of compassion for everybody. There's some that you like, bro, you're never gonna stop. There's no programs. There's just places. It's just, look, we're going to put him in your ambulance. You take him to a hospital someplace out of this district so he could be out of our hair for a few hours. That's the whole mentality. Tell me I'm crazy, because I'm not. That's the whole mentality. And a lot of people don't seem to get it. This is why the place is the way it is. I'm tired of being the policeman's taxi. So they don't have to come out and deal with somebody repeatedly. That actually has put people's health and that puts people health in danger, their life in danger somewhat, and been hazardous to their health. You're talking to somebody who's been in incidents because they only detain. Let me explain the story. Almost 3 years ago, tell me something ain't wrong with this whole situation. Tell me something ain't wrong with the situation. Like, tell me in the comment section live, cause I'm watching the comments right here. Hopefully they come through. But tell me this ain't crazy. All right, a couple years ago, there was a man. We got a call for EDP police on the scene. Okay, so we get there. We explain the man's in handcuffs. He got nothing but a pair of jeans on, no socks or shoes. The man's high up on PCP. He got handcuffs on, making all types of terroristic threats verbally to people. The story is he attacked the female high up, and he got beat up by a few people on the scene and got detained. Like they beat him up to protect the female. Uh, no, like even though she didn't file any charges, he wasn't placed under arrest. You telling me this man put hands on another human being, let alone a woman? So he's only detained. They handcuff him to my stretcher, right? So when we get to the hospital, short stories like this. We put him in the they uncuff him from my stretcher, keep him cuffed, get him on the bed inside of a isolated room that we used to have called the decontamination room. They put him in there, right? And me and my partner that day couldn't help but see them taking the handcuffs off. I'm like, he's not under arrest? That's what we both asked. And they're like, no, he was just detained. I'm like, but he beat somebody up. So they tell him to get on the bed. He gets on the bed, and all of a sudden, this is two officers, armed officers. He gets up, jumps off the bed, run past both of them, and I pulling the stretcher out of their room. I stand to the side to let him run past me because ain't my job to tackle anybody. This dude attacks me, and I blacked his eye. He hit me here, and I hit him here. That was the one incident. And then recently there was one where one dude, he gave me his best shot. And I almost, let's just say, I wanted to kill the guy. Let's just say I just wanted to throttle his ass hard because number one, he wasn't the patient. Number two, you have beef with me and anybody else in uniform that wear the same uniform that I wear, that exact same job I work at. You have beef with anybody in that. Somebody had to stop you. But meanwhile, my own coworkers threw me under the bus. My own coworkers threw me under the bus. And you guessed it. The majority of them, the ones who threw me on the bus, look nothing like me, if you know what I mean. They don't live in this town, if you know what I mean. See, me and my boy from New York who works with me, we was having this talk about how soft a lot of them are. And I'm not a violent person. I'm not a fighter, but for God's sakes, I'm a OG. You see this gray in my beard? I'm in my mid-40s, my man. I'm in my mid-40s. People going to start thinking they can put one over you because you are a elder man. And I'm not here for that. You are not going to put your hands on me and think you're just going to get by scot-free because my job is more important. It comes a time where, yes, you can't just go ham on everybody, but there's a time when your back is against the wall and you have to defend yourself. And working in an environment where that's frowned upon is very, very concerning. This is not something I don't welcome. I mean, I don't welcome it, but I don't welcome the violence. I have to apply force when force is needed. Because if truth be told, no police showed up on the scene. They came to me in a hospital after all of this happened. That was the recent situation. The one before, what I told you about 3 years ago, I just told you about a moment ago. Guess what happened? You would not believe that I told you, they let him go. And then they had no choice but to arrest him. I got an apology. That's all I got. An apology. Just an apology. All right. Maybe see I'm checking the podcast out. I see comment. Oh, well, thank you, Walter. Thank you. Yeah, that beat was made by somebody that just goes by AO. He's subscribed to me on YouTube, and he made that beat and stuff, and he was like, "Yo, I think I got something you might want to use." So I give him props every time. All right, now let's take another look. I'm just monitoring everything to see how it goes. And to all the new subscribers, let's take another look. I'm just monitoring everything. And to all the new subscribers on my YouTube channel in the recent days, I think a lot of you may have come over from the Kid Organic video, the Don Mega video. Thank you anyway. So let's get let's get back on topic here. Organic video, the Don Mega video. Thank you anyway. So let's get it's been tough, like dealing with this, and a lot of people, their whole how my job handles the situations that they think talking about it to a counselor is gonna help. I have to. It ain't the patients that I have issues with. Honestly, sometimes, and some people will say it's EMS culture. If you are a fellow EMT like myself, or a fellow medic, is this the culture everywhere you go? EMS culture, where people don't like to speak to you, but yet they like to talk to you any type of way. But when you say good morning to them, they look at you like you got three heads. Speak to you, but yet they like to talk to you any type. Like, is that someplace warm and welcoming? You wonder why when I first started working there, I got anxiety. I had anxiety attacks because I am the type of person where I'm in a situation where I can't tell you how I really feel about you without it, because I got the threat of losing my job over my head, just beaming down, just staring, beaming holes into the back of my neck. But yet you somehow have that you have carte blanche to do that because you are in, and it's a fraternity. You have carte blanche to do that. It's a fraternity. You are in. And I'm starting to think like, you know what? I'm here to get a paycheck and look over the people in this city and care for sick people. Because truth be told, this is probably the how can I say? Because truth be told, closest thing I might be to becoming a nurse, or that, like, my mother's been a nurse for years, and I admire her for doing that job. But be to becoming a nurse. I don't think I can do that job. Or that like I don't want to do that job. I know I can do it. I don't think I want to do it. I don't think so. I take my hat off to the nurses out there. Like I don't want to do that job. Those who don't disrespect me when I come in as an EMT. You know, that's another story. That's another story. So doing this and making sure people get to the hospital, that's another story. To be tended to those in a higher medical authority, higher medical expertise, that's that thing there, that helps. But I know me. I know me. I know me like I went from being somebody who cleaned up the ER rooms and seeing all the people coming in and trying to be helpful to the EMTs to being an EMT. Now I know myself. I want to be like, okay, now I'm at this level. I want to be the person that helps the EMTs. I mean, that actually helps the patients that these EMTs that I once was. Be the person that helps. They help get them here in one piece. Now I want to help try to keep them alive. They got him there alive. I want to help to make sure to escalate that further. So I know me. So it's going to eat away at me for a while. But you gotta understand, nursing school is expensive. I have rent, I have car note, I have insurance, I have a lot of things I'm taking care of right now. Especially, definitely, it's the car. I have to be realistic here. You know, people boast of big balling and all this other stuff, and be real. Like, we gotta be honest. Like, people want to sit here crying and pining over being be greater than they ever was, but they don't sit and slow down and realize you have greatness right now, but they don't admire the greatness that they have now. I'm not saying you wallow in it and you don't try to move on further. I'm saying to the point that, look, you have to actually to know, to want to be great, you got to know that you're already great. I mean, to want to be greater, you got to know that you're already great. See, greater is a, you got to know that you're already great. It's plural. So you're great now. You just don't go from being absolute bottom barrel to just being greater. It's plural. Well, kinda. You get what I'm saying? But I mean, you great means you were greater than before. But it's just such a tongue twister. But you get what I'm trying to say. The analogy I'm trying to say, right? Before I contradict and confuse myself. But you get what man. I'm trying to say, right? So I know myself. That's why I've been talking about it for a while. I've been thinking about it. But then man, I realized once if I even became a medic, I'm even thinking like, God, I do not want to work with the medics that I work around right now. For most of them, I'm even thinking like, God, I do. Look, I'm sorry if I took you away from watching Netflix or something, or you don't want to work with you don't want to take care of a patient that you automatically deem BLS grade because you don't see the emergency of it and you think I'm incompetent and you don't like the fact that I'm utilizing your advanced life services to make sure that the patient is okay. So when I do take them to the hospital, we don't have to escalate it or call you back to the scene or worry about screaming in there like a madman because the patient done took a turn for the worse. Would you think you hooked them up to that machine for to make sure there ain't no irregularity in their heart, right? Because the patient done took a turn for the worse. Would you think to make sure that that altered mental status that they got isn't something that you can isn't something it's something that you could probably treat or help towards it. Isn't something that you can. I'm sorry, you went to school for how many to learn all of these things but yet you don't want to utilize any of those because it's beneath you. You come to the scene with 1,000-yard stare on your face, and that energy rubs off on me. And you think people don't pick that up? Seriously, you think people don't pick that up? And I'm sorry, I'm going into this tangent, but as an EMT, seriously, you think people don't pick that up? Sometimes, a lot of the times, the medics are not kind. A lot of them feel like you are wasting their time. And when they give you that damn energy, you think, I don't, look, And the thing is, I don't want to. And when they give you that damn energy, have to put you in your damn place in front of a I don't want to patient because we're supposed to be here together in front of a because the patient is the poverty bullet. I have to call you out or like, yo, what was that? Because the patient what was that? I have to are you what why are you talking to me like that? I'm not your son. I'm not no, I don't play that. I have to are you what why are you talking to me like that? So it's not a easy job whatsoever. It's not in many sense. I mean, like, so it's not a. You have some people out there that definitely, in many sense. I mean, like, so there's some exceptions. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's some. Like, there's a few that I work with that are very. They very. There's some exceptions. How can I say they like? You know what? I'm trying to make it easier. Oh, you got that info for me? Thank you. This, that, and the fourth. I help you with that. You know what? There's a slang term that goes around with a lot of medics, and the ALS, which means Advanced Life Service, means ain't lifting shit. There's a slang term that they're like, all right, yeah, we be down the ambulance. You sure? All right, cool. We be down there waiting. They're like, all right, and I'm like, wow, this patient weighs about 300 pounds. Are you kidding me? We be down there waiting. And then there's some. The exceptions be like, you know what? All right, you're gonna go down the stair chair. I got you. They be like, outlaw, I got you. I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna hold you by the belt. Make sure you don't slip down the steps. Okay? There's some exceptions. Sometimes you gotta call lift assist because they ain't lifting shit. You know? There's some exceptions. Sometimes you gotta call lift assist because but I think enough. You know? Oh man. Sometimes you got because but I think enough. You know? I think I'm cool right now. So I'm glad that this restream is actually working on both. I'm monitoring it and I'm showing both my YouTube connection that might have a little bit of a delay, but the Facebook one seems to be a little bit more up to date. So anybody watching or so, but the cool. Facebook one seems to be a little bit more up to date. I've been on for nearly 30 minutes or so. And now that I know that this restream program will work with my OBS software, there's a couple things I can do right here. So let me show you some. See the Restream.io, powered by Restream, late morning podcast. So let me show you some things I can do with this program. Let's go to here. See, case in point, I can go to and I can react to certain videos as well. If I interact with it, I can react with it. I mean, and we could play certain things and listen to it. I can react to certain videos as well. If I interact with it, I can react with it. I mean, and we could play certain things and listen to it. But first, I have to kill some volume. I can react with it. I mean, and there we go. I think that's a little bit better. I had to get rid of that. Sorry if it was double speaking on it. All right, I think that's better now. Sorry if I was double looping my vocals because I had the YouTube video playing. I didn't mean to do that. So look at these right here. Look at this. This is Tori and Rain Reloaded and Professor Black Truth. These two people I'm prescribed. I said prescribed, subscribe to. I'm thinking of medications all the time. But there we go. Listen to this. This man murders his pregnant girlfriend and staged her death as a suicide. Bruh. Bruh. It sounds like a Lifetime movie. It does. But yeah, let's go here to my subscriptions. Let's see what's going on here. There's a couple of things I wanted to react to. I could always do that. Oh man, it's just a lot of stuff going on. See, for example, I could do this, or I could jump to another page and I could go to here. And let's say I'm here and I can actually stream the game right here and keep my likeness here because truth be told, it's like this. This is a curtain behind me, a green curtain. This is a green screen right here. And I'm going to show you that in its pure form. See? That's what we got right there, that green curtain right there. Just like that. So, isn't technology grand? So, I have a setup right here. So, I'm getting back on. All right. So, this was just a little podcast to let everybody know that I'm here and I will probably be doing a lot of these more often and I'm trying to get a second party to show up to sit here on this bench here, but uh he's getting sucker punched by allergies right now, so he's allergic to seasonal and pets and he has a cat, so he's home suffering. Ouch. Anyway, it's your boy Fury. I'm here and now I'm out, y'all. I will see you later and let's kick that outro music.